Hello and welcome to Wilderness Days. In this special episode, we will take you to a real jewel. It's one of India's most impressive wildlife destinations. And those tigers have made a big name for themselves all over the world. The place is Bandhavgarh in Madhya Pradesh.
The rich wildlife of Madhya Pradesh's Bandhavgarh National Park alone, with tiger as its prime attraction, is sufficient to hold you mesmerized for days. And if you do manage to get a ride in the Tala zone of the park, which is never easy since only 32 gypsies are allowed in a single safari, then there is no escaping the spell of Bandhavgarh. It's not for nothing that Bandhavgarh is considered one of the best natural reserves in India. Yes, it is much smaller in size than its imposing neighbor Kanha. And this, paradoxically, tends to make it more charming than Kanha. An out-and-out tiger country, Bandhavgarh casts its spell both on casual visitors as well as hardcore wildlifers. But today, let's shift the focus on what makes Bandhavgarh such a unique wildlife destination. No, it's not the tiger. The tiger may be the poster boy here, but it's the ancient relics, monuments and caves which give that special touch to Bandhavgarh. The first thing that strikes you about Bandhavgarh, even before you manage to lay your eyes on a tiger, are these caves. Sprinkled all around the national park are these ancient caves of varying sizes. This is Badi Gufa, the biggest of the 39 caves. It has 9 rooms and is believed to have been built during the 10th century AD. While some caves are natural formations, many are man-made. Now, who were the people who built these caves and for what purpose? The answers are lost in the mist of time. Some experts claim that the caves were constructed by the erstwhile rulers to provide shelter to wandering Buddhist monks. And since the hillocks of Bandhavgarh are of sandstone, the caves remain cool during summers, an ideal place for a short stay. The cave paintings in Bandhavgarh depict several animals, including elephants. This could be an evidence that once there were wild elephants aplenty in Madhya Pradesh. Now, there are none. But please, do not enter a cave without a guide. You just might, with rather unfortunate repercussions, disrupt a tiger's siesta. Now, let's get closer to the real magic of Bandhavgarh. Unlike many other natural wonders which stand in isolation, the present of Bandhavgarh is still linked with its past. Yes, the link survives to this day. 4 centuries ago, the erstwhile Baghel rulers of the region took a remarkable decision. And that one decision changed the course of Bandhavgarh forever.
Bandhavgarh's description will not be complete without its most crucial asset. But it appears so casual and ordinary that most of us do not give it a second look or fail to realize its importance.
This, here, is the secret of Bandhavgarh, Charan Ganga. It's not just a river, it is Bandhavgarh's river of life. This is the river which the Baghel rulers of Bandhavgarh created in the 16th century before they shifted to Rewa, some 300 kilometers away.
This may not look like much of a river, but it is. And would you believe it? It is one of the few vital lifelines of Bandhavgarh National Park. It's only because of this particular river called Charan Ganga, the Tala zone of Bandhavgarh today has the highest density of tigers in the world.
As of now, the Tala zone of Bandhavgarh, through which Charan Ganga flows, has the highest density of tigers anywhere in India. Tala holds 23 tigers in an area of 70 square kilometers, as against the national average of 1 tiger per 23 square kilometers. The credit for this super growth of tigers, as well as the healthy prey base in the region, goes to Charan Ganga. To understand this unique ecosystem of Bandhavgarh, we will have to look upwards, beyond the cliffs on these hills and inside this imposing fort perched atop the highest point of Bandhavgarh. Here lies the secret of Charan Ganga.
This is the place from where Charan Ganga river originates. From the 12 ponds up on the fort, the water flows down here and forms this catchment area. From here, Charan Ganga begins its downward journey to the Tala zone of Bandhavgarh.
The erstwhile Baghel rulers dug 12 ponds inside the fort premises. This was done to store rainwater for its sizable population that lived in the fort. In 1617 AD, the Baghels abandoned Bandhavgarh for river, but the ponds continued to receive the annual rainfall. With the passage of time, the water started seeping down to Lord Vishnu's statue built 200 meters downstream, and from here it began its journey to the grasslands of Tala, the journey which continues to this day. The 12 ponds in the fort are still receiving enough rainwater to sustain Charanganga. The National Park's Field Director, C.K. Patil, took us around to explain this unique phenomenon.
तो ये जो 12 कुंड हैं ये इन वाइल्ड लाइफ के लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ वाटर है जो हिल्स के ऊपर है। ऊपर पानी के लिए इतना इम्पॉर्टेंट सोर्स होने के कारण हम जो है डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ देख पा रहे हैं। इसके बाद ये पानी जो है रिस करके शेषशैया के पास चरणगंगा रिवर बनाता है और लगभग पार्क के अंदर 8 किलोमीटर तक वो रिवर पेरेनियल सोर्स ऑफ वाटर है, जिसके चरणगंगा जैसे वो पेरेनियल रिवर है एंड वो इन्हीं कुंड की बदौलत है, क्योंकि इनका जो पानी रिश्ता है वही जो है साल भर चरणगंगा के रूप में उपलब्ध रहता है। और जो भी हम वाइल्ड लाइफ की वैरायटीज़ देख रहे हैं वो इस पानी की वजह से ही है, तो उसके लिए भी इसका बड़ा महत्व है।
Like all other natural hotspots in India, Bandhavgarh too is feeling the heat of increased tourism. The Tala zone of the park never leaves visitors unsatisfied. But so preoccupied most of us are in appreciating the scenic beauty and wildlife of Bandhavgarh that all too often we forget to look beneath our feet, to the actual marvel which has sustained this place for 4 centuries, to this river of life. Reaching Bandhavgarh may not be a cakewalk, but it's not very tough either. An overnight train journey from Delhi or Mumbai will take you to Umaria. The town nearest to the national park. An easy 30-minute drive from Umaria will take you to Tala. The hamlet situated next to Bandhavgarh and where all the human action takes place. Tala is the place where most of the resorts and hotels are situated, and from where one can book a gypsy for the jungle drive. Once inside the forest, a gypsy is probably the best medium to come closest to the king of the jungle. But to get the overall feel of the forest and discover its numerous hidden treasures, there are other options available to the connoisseur. The fact is, every nook and corner of Bandhavgarh is ready to spring a surprise at you. Speeding across Bandhavgarh in a gypsy can be an exhilarating experience. But this form of wildlife viewing does not let you stay long at any particular point. Because most drivers tend to move in convoys. At times, the four-wheel drive also causes you to miss out on the real goings-on, which can be observed only in silence. Now, here is a viable option. Not known to most first-timers in Bandhavgarh, there are 3 watchtowers here, which can be booked in advance for a few hours of intense wildlife experience. It's an experience which can never be matched by a moving vehicle. Let us first go to this watchtower called Bhitri Machan in the Tala zone of the park.
If you are a serious wildlifer or want to be one, then Bandhavgarh has a lot to offer. There are 3 such watchtowers or machans in the national park where you can spend as many hours as you like during the day and hope for that perfect shot. Anybody with a serious interest in wildlife would prefer this approach. Actually, it's much better than speeding through the jungle in a vehicle and scaring everybody inside.
Of course, while in a watchtower, it is important to remain absolutely silent and motionless. Most documentaries on Bandhavgarh shot in the recent years, some of the best shots have been taken from these watchtowers or machans. At Chakradhara Watchtower, for instance, the huge grassland in front of you offers immense possibilities of a great encounter. On a lucky day, the entire wildlife of Bandhavgarh can be sampled at Chakradhara. Similarly, the Banbai Watchtower, with its cool shade and the perennial Charan Ganga river flowing nearby, is the perfect setting to welcome the Lord of the Jungle. But make sure your binoculars are at hand and the camera is ready to burst into action. Just for the record, Bandhavgarh has produced some of the most popular and fondly remembered tigers of India. Sita, probably the superstar among all celebrity tigers in the past 40 years, was a proud resident of Bandhavgarh. After her, two more tigers, Charger and B2, made Bandhavgarh a world-class wildlife destination.
So this was Bandhavgarh for you.